you do?
I think that's a great question. I keep saying the opportunities are endless. When we think about some of the planning that really starts when they're in Mount Daniel and Thomas Jefferson and moving to Mary Ellen Henderson from there, we want to make sure that our programs are aligned. When we think about the new building, the focus on sustainability, renewable energy, when we think about the potential for the vivarium that we may have in our building, I mean, all of those are aligned to making sure that our students are kind of looking towards that career and technical education field. And so I think it's about really coming together as a division, which we've been doing. We actually have a meeting set up on February 10th to sit down with the middle school and kind of make sure that the programs are aligned. The matriculation is where a student who gets to the 9th grade level can really take a look at their interests in this particular field. And even as Mr. George mentioned, if they're not taking, let's say, that specific technology course, they're still going to be exposed. And this really was what this program was founded on. It was making sure that we were infusing CTE across all disciplines. We didn't want to say that those 110 students that Kenny teaches, they're going to be the only ones that are exposed to that content. So, I know that's a roundabout way of kind of answering your question, because I think there are some bits and pieces that we need to smooth out. We need to take a look at the trends, but as we take a look at our data and where the interest lies for our students, when you think about EMT, when you think about sports medicine, when you think about all the fields that fall under CTE, I mean, these are what our students are interested in. And I definitely see that trend moving in the direction and allowing our new building to kind of serve as that catalyst for what we're going to do in the future.
Are there any other questions from the board? Ms. Russell.
So I guess this is on. So questions for Mr. George. Just getting back to the new high school, what, if anything, comes to mind that you're specifically most excited about with regard to the new school? And I guess what kinds of things would you like to see in there that you haven't, I guess, hasn't been discussed yet, or what's on your mind?
I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited about the new space on the 5th floor, and I'm excited that computer science is going to be adjacent to me. Right now, I don't really. I have theater as an adjacency, and I work with Mr. Northrup on set design, but I think that I haven't really got to make that link necessarily with computer science. We've attempted, but a hallway is a universe in a high school sometimes, right? So having that adjacency to some other spaces and a flexible lab, being adjacent to that and bringing other teachers up there, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about a new robust shop too. I'm not gonna lie, a 4x4 CNC mill and a big laser cutter and all the nifty toys and gadgets are gonna be pretty excited. And honestly, that's part of why I'm trying to do this now. Is it's gonna be an amazing space, and I don't want that space to be kind of allocated for 100 students. I think that there's got to be an opportunity to get more students up there. And I think the hook to that is seeing a project in another class, executed on one of these pretty awesome new machines that's going to be making our building, 21st century, really kind of competitive design and engineering school. I think that's going to hook more students that maybe that won't get them into engineering, but it might just let them kind of see and succeed at something in a little different way than they would have otherwise done so.
So I know just firsthand that students love your class and just get a lot out of it, your design class, I guess what I'm talking about specifically. And I know it's a wide range, freshmen through seniors. So I'm just curious if you have engaged those students much yet in terms of what they'd like to see in the new school and what they're most looking forward to.
Funny you say that. My Design 2 students project right now is design the makerspace, because we've been having a lot of talks about this, but I want to see what you guys want. And part of that is develop your philosophies. Tell me don't just tell me what tools you want in there, but what would a makerspace, how would you use it as a student? What would that be? So I'm trying to engage them since my first year here, which was 2018, I think, the year that the bond passed. Immediately my next project was what would the new high school look like? So I've been doing that, and that's on I guess that's coming around the bend for one of the next projects we do. It's what does the new high school look like? And it's not going to be as exciting a project now because we know what it looks like, but the last 2 years that's been a really fun project to engage the students in, is doing the high school design, giving them the RFP and say, all right, build your school, And then last year we had it was great. We had Stantec in there talking to the students about the process, so that was a great CTE connection.
Any other comments from the board? Otherwise, I know Dr. Noonan has one. Okay, Dr. Noonan?
I just wanted to, sort of picking up on the question from Ms. Litton and Ms. Russell, thank Mr. George also, because he has been in probably 20 meetings at this point about what the spaces are going to look like and the equipment, and has been an incredible advocate for his program, and continues to sort of keep us honest about the things that need to be there. And between he and his partners that are going to be up on that 5th floor in the corner, that sort of CTE suite area, it's turning out to be something quite special. So I'm very confident that Mr. George and his team are going to continue doing great things going forward. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, and I'll just like to say thanks for coming. And one of the things I'm personally excited about is to see what you may end up having with the development at the West End after the new school has been built, and what are the partnerships that can be done in the CTE space with the new businesses that will go into the new development. So thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we will now move on to section 4, recognitions and reports, and we've got 4.01 first, a recognition of our fall champions of character.
Thank you, Chairman Anderson. I'm going to actually invite Mr. Hills and the team to come on up and introduce their champions of character this evening. I see Brian Harris is here as well, so Brian, maybe it's you and not Mr. Hills, but this is a great opportunity to really recognize some extraordinary students for not only being great athletes and great students, but of great character as well. So I'll turn it over to you.
Absolutely. Members of the board, every season our coaches have the opportunity to nominate a champion of character for their team. These student athletes are folks who not only excel on the field, but are also leaders to their teammates off the field. They're all exceptional athletes, but they also have some specific character traits that our coaches try and instill in all of our athletes. And those character traits are integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, and servant leadership. And the 6 athletes that we have here are exceptional models of all of those traits. We have one that unfortunately isn't able to be here this evening. Jack Vagnon is our champion of character for golf. The other students that we have, Connor Plax is our champion of character for football. Joe Sevier is our girls cross country award winner. Ben Torilla is our boys cross country champion of character winner. Niriki Singhvi is our field hockey champion of character, and for volleyball, our award winner is Alexis Holowinski. And I'd like to actually give them all a few minutes to come up, introduce themselves, and share some of their season with you at this point.
So come on up to the podium, everybody, and tell us about yourself. Tell us your name, your sport, and tell us a little bit about the season.
I'm Emma Ward. I am on the George Mason cheer team. So this season, not only did we do sideline cheering at the football games, but we also attended several cheer competitions. And we placed 4th at districts, which allowed us to go to regionals, which happened for the first time in about 20 years, I think. So that was a huge accomplishment for our team and a goal that we set at the beginning of the season. With cheer, the main thing is trust, and everything that we accomplish wouldn't have been able to get done without the bonds that we create with our teammates and the trust that we have for each other and the hard work we put into it. Mason Cheer has given me my best friends and many opportunities that I'll have through high school and beyond. Another thing that we do with the cheer team is we get to make an impact in the community. We encourage younger students to come and do cheerleading. We do cheer clinics for the elementary school kids, which are a lot of fun because we get to see a lot of aspiring cheerleaders. And we do cheer club for the MEH students. We do fundraisers for the cheer program, and we also come to community events such as Run for the Schools, which is fun to go to also. So it was a really good season, and I'm excited for more. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Jo Sevier, and I'm on the girls cross country team. I started running when I was a freshman and immediately saw just the kind, enthusiastic people on the team, and that's continued all 4 years. This year, we moved up a division as a school, and the team was nervous at the beginning of the year, but One of the main parts of cross country is teamwork, even though it seems like an individual sport. You all have to work together to cheer each other on. 80% of running is your mindset and staying positive, sticking with the person in front of you mainly, and just keeping on going. This year, we did amazing. So districts, we got first place. Regionals, we took third, and then we ended up getting fourth in state. It was a great season, and our coaches, Coach Buck, Coach Nguyen, and Coach Gogol just pushed us along, and best sport in the world. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Connor Plax. I'm on the Mason football team, and thanks for having me. One of the things I love about football is that it's really team-oriented and takes a lot of teamwork to succeed. And I know you can say that about a lot of sports, but you really need all 11 players to be on the same page on the field to be successful. And with such a small program at Mason, it can sometimes be challenging to succeed. But what we lack in numbers, we excel in heart, courage, and friendships. You could tell every time that we stepped on the field that we were playing for one another, and the bonds that we created, I think, will continue for many years to come. And how close we were is reflected on our accomplishments this year. We were able to double our wins from last year and go to the playoffs with a 4-7 record, including a loss by 1 point and a upset in the fourth quarter that I think we should have won, but it was still good. We had 4 all-region players and 6 all-district players, which is much better than last year, where I think we had 2 all-district players. And I know with such a great coaching staff, Mason football will continue to excel and hopefully have a positive record going next year. Go Mason, thank you.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Tarilla. I'm on the boys cross country team. This is my second year at Mason, and so my second year doing cross country. And starting the year at time trials, I did not expect to get as far as I did, but with the encouragement that's just ever present on the team, from the seniors especially, but everyone around me, I was encouraged to keep going. And I had the privilege this year of getting to know a bunch of new runners, particularly some of the freshmen and the 8th graders. We had a large number of 8th graders show up, much larger than last year. And particularly one 8th grader actually broke 19 minutes already in a 5K. So that was one of the highlights, I guess, to see that, the potential that we have for the future. As Joe stated, we moved up to 3A, and our coach, we had 2 new coaches who really meshed well with the runners. They pushed us really hard to keep up with the competition, but I guess for me, I think we worked so hard that it wasn't as noticeable as it could have been, and we got all the way to states with a few close calls. At districts, I believe we got second, and at regionals, the same as the girls, we got third by a narrow margin, but it was worth it all the way, and we got there with the encouragement with all the seniors, and it's sad to see them go. I hope that I can continue to encourage some of the young runners to reach their potential in the future. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Alexis, and I'm a junior on the Mason volleyball team. And I've been on volleyball since 8th grade, and it's basically like a second family to me. But this season specifically was really strong for us, not just stat-wise, although we did go to regional semifinals, which we were excited about. But we have a relatively young team this year. We had no seniors, which is pretty uncommon. But we were able to navigate this new dynamic really well, and a lot of our returning players really stepped up. And we have such a supportive environment, both between players and also with our coaches. And this is definitely what's allowed us to flourish these past few years. We grew together really quickly and were pretty consistent throughout the whole season. And then during the few games that we did struggle or got in our heads, we always focused on having each player do what they could individually to lift up the person next to them, and those on the bench